There's approval of, no, that is not the first order of business because we don't have a quorum. The first order of business will be, new business.
We can answer any questions about financials if there's any questions, we just can't approve them.
Okay, let's do financial.
Financials are presented in the meeting packet, you guys have a copy of them. Nothing has changed since they were distributed out, and happy to answer any questions. If there are any, if not, we'll come back and approve them next month.
All right, new business. Did you say the Vivid presentation was not?
Yeah, so the big thing is the Vivid presentation, which is Project Vivid up in the North Warrick Industrial Park. Publicly traded company, they needed to have an internal board meeting to announce spend and stuff like that. That did not happen. Best we were told, that got pushed 1 month, which pushes all of our stuff for this project 1 month, which means they would be here at the October 16th meeting. And then they would come for the preliminary resolution at County Council on November 4th. And the confirming resolution at County Council on December 2nd.
Yeah, so with regards to that, so this is a giant project.
Yep.
And we are having difficulty getting quorums at these meetings. Probably every other meeting we're getting a quorum. So if I could just, and you'll reflect this in the minutes, if I could just implore everyone who's on this board to be there, and if you can't be there, please let us know so we can wrangle enough to have a quorum for that meeting.
We have an attendance sheet for our boards that we share at the end of the year.
Yeah.
When it's time to re-up people.
Yeah. So let's get here and get some things done.
We cannot push that project. We can't say, no, take your 700 or 800 million and just wait another month.
Yeah.
It's that important, so.
Yeah. Get here.
Okay. So that was gonna take up the majority of this meeting, and redevelopment. So the rest of the meeting, I just put kind of some updates for this board, some stuff to talk about since that was going to be the bulk. On this slide, you will see last month we talked about there was a concrete plant that was coming to the county for tax abatement as well. I sat with that project. We went over their investment and stuff. Most of their equipment did not qualify because the state of Indiana, it has to be new equipment or new equipment in the state of Indiana. And most of their spend was buying used, brand new to them, but previously used or installed dump trucks and transportation equipment and stuff that once we went over it, enough of it didn't qualify that they are not coming to the county for tax abatement. Any questions on that?
Still interested?
Yes, they're still, they're going back to the drawing board. They're seeing how they're gonna tweak their stuff, but yes, that project I expect would still move forward. They're excited about the community, the potential location they have.
Locations on Hole 57.
No, this location is off of, over by the asphalt plant on North F4, Lynch and 62 over there. So,
I mean, it wasn't a significant abatement, so I don't think it was material.
Will it make noise for the neighborhood?
well, I know you were in that meeting as well. I actually talked to them about that. That had to do with the existing facility that's over there.
Okay.
But I did, Greg, because I was at that meeting when they came to county council. Any questions on that, guys? Okay, just letting this board know that at the next county council meeting, we'll be going for $100,000 appropriation from the edit fund, funds that we have for holiday Warrick Bucks program. This is our small business support program. A lot of the things that we've always talked about that we have tools for large businesses. This is kind of Main Street businesses. It's been extremely successful. It's put about $1.7 million back into small businesses. We have over 80 participating businesses from Linville and Oberfeld all the way down through the county and through Newburgh. So we were going to jumpstart that again this holiday season, which is when people kind of appreciate spreading their dollars, shopping local, and getting a little more bang for their buck. So that's going to the October county council meeting.
I have a quick question.
Yep.
What is the process of getting small businesses to join this?
So we continually put stuff out on social media. We have a Warrick Buck section on the webpage as well that they have to fill it out. And there's an application to fill out. So we vet them. You have to be kind of a brick and mortar store. There's a couple requirements in there. So unfortunately, unfortunately, we had to draw the parameters somewhere. And so it's not for somebody's basement business or other things like that. It's really to drive people into our Main Street businesses here in Warrick County.
So does it cost them anything at all?
To join? No.
And I guess what maybe holding one particular restaurant that one of my favorites would,
Okay?
maybe hold them up, is that because they have to pay the national card fee?
So it is like taking a card because it's processed through MasterCard, the whole, we didn't invent community cards. It is a MasterCard fee, and so there are folks that you'll see, you know, some businesses, I was just in one today, 3% discount if you pay cash, that kind of stuff. And so if there is a business that you'd like us to talk to, we're happy to reach out. There have been some that have just said, oh, it's just one more thing to think about or teach our employees or those kind of things. So I don't know the specific reason, but it is like processing a credit card.
Thank you.
Cause it does go through MasterCard.
But most of them have to hand key it into their machine, they don't have it.
There is a new like, app, tap to pay or whatever with your stuff. That's just come out in the last year that they've used. But yeah, it was manual, like a gift card entry. It's not a physical card and that saves some money as well from, no one's having to pay the cost of printing up all those cards and all that cardboard. It's digital only. And so that was causing now, I'm old and would still print stuff out on a piece of paper like an old person.
I have one printed out on paper in my
And bring
purse,
it in,
just in
but
case, just in
That's
case.
just the way, it is.
I spoke to a business owner in Boonville last year about it. They said they've never had revenue this high before joining the program. And they said most people were using the card and they've been there a long time. So I would think
Well, good
the
you-
credit card fee is
But you used to use
Manageable.
a store you've been missing too.
right.
You go in to use the card, and you think, oh, I really love this store.
Right.
And I know you presented some metrics for this before, which I think are really cool
Yeah.
to see. Can we expect that after?
Yeah.
In the first of the year?
Yeah, we get that tracking
Yeah.
basically every day.
Yeah. It'd be interesting to see where all the dollars are spent too.
Yeah, and we kind of see where the most popular places are and they're spread out and some people go, the business owners go above and beyond to help promote it as well. So, yeah, can certainly do that. Okay, any questions on that? Okay, couple new things, tourism and the arts. So we talked about this before, the Warrick County Tourism. Tourism are going on right now. I think them getting a door is going to extremely accelerate what we can do from a tourism perspective in the county. The other thing that we are looking at, and I've spoken with tourism and a few other folks, is we're looking at dipping our toe into being something like a Warrick County Public Arts Commission or Foundation. I'm a believer in communities that have some public art. I think it brings a lot of value, brings walkability, it brings attention, it brings promotion. It has a lot of positive values. There's obviously just some pictures up on this slide, just put some pictures. We're doing some research and Jacob's been looking at some research on kind of how those things are structured and how it can function. Some places do it as like a pseudo subsidiary county, town government. You know, you may see the Carmel Arts Association in Carmel that's more appointed through elected officials. You may see it more like the Warrick Parks Foundation, which operates independently, may get some public dollars to help them operate and run, but operates separately as a 501c3. So we are looking and been reaching out to maybe find a small group of folks, public, private sector, artists, etc., to kind of workshop the viability of that. But I think it'd be a positive thing. Obviously, we could always talk with the schools as well through their art programs, and there's just a lot of opportunity to do some stuff in the community.
I think it's a great idea, and the towns all have some functions like that too, that you could, bridge together.
Yep,
Have dialogue and, I think resources, share resources, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like, whatever we do, I'd like to be countywide.
Yeah.
And then towns, we can scale stuff appropriately for how much people don't want to be involved, but,
Warrick County now has some roundabouts, so we got a great place to put some public art.
That's
up,
true.
so there's just a lot of opportunities. It works rurally, it works urbanly, so we can go from there. Any questions on that?
Would you put some wayfinding in with the art, you think?
Yeah, wayfinding is a little more like branding stuff, but at the right place, we could use some wayfinding in certain
Yeah,
spots in
yeah,
the community.
absolutely.
So, it's all on the table. Okay, no questions. Let's move on to something else. And again, putting some stuff in here for this group, just so that we can have some discussion since the Vivid stuff was off the table. This is just nothing to really talk, like, to get in the weeds on. Just there's opportunities to kind of bank some land, for recreational use and outdoor use and other things in Warrick County. And these are really some different ideas, but I'll tell you at the bottom, there are some large parcels available. If anyone doesn't know, Peabody's trying to get rid of a whole bunch of land that they have. There's, if you look at the left of the screen, that's a 2,700 acre parcel of land. And so if you look at the right, it's more like 50 acres with a nice lake that's right off of 61 that's available. And I'm not saying we should or shouldn't, I was just bringing it up for discussion. The other thing that I put on here, and with Courtney's permission and Warrick Trail's permission, is that now that the county is in charge of AMAC soccer football fields, taking over from the town of Newburgh, there's been some discussion. Warrick Trails already put significant dollars, if you've been down there, of paving one of the parking lots, changing the traffic pattern, redoing the pavilion, putting new bathrooms in, water station, connecting the trail that goes from Friedman to Van to now AMAX. There is a concept that Trails Group is working on to everything in pink on that screen would be new pavement for parking. The green would be a trail around the facility, because a lot of parents are there. If anyone's ever been at that facility for your kids, that facility is packed all the time. One thing that I like that it does is it removes all the street parking on Lincoln, which is a safety hazard as people pull in and back out into traffic and kids are running around cars. And then the big concept of it is there's a field between football and soccer that really, when Newburgh ran the facility, it was on the soccer side of the equation, but it really hasn't been used in years and years by soccer. So the long-term phase, whatever you want to call it, would be to put a community multi-purpose turf field. We've talked about this before, that a lot of our youth sports and schools and other stuff wind up renting court space and turf space over in Vanderburgh County, because we don't have a field like this. And so it certainly would be used by soccer and football, but then there'd be a lot of time for the other youth sports, club sports, community groups and other stuff to use that field. So in order to do that, there's not enough land at AMAX. And so just that, I think we need, I might say it on there, I can't read. Let's call it 5 or 6 acres of land behind AMAX to do that. 5 or 6 acres would have to be purchased from Guy Cornell. Cornell owns a lot of property. He's worked occasionally with the trails before. He has all the property. He's had property in a lot of places. The reason I put this other picture is that you can see how close AMAX, which is down here, is to Van Road Park. And Cornell had brought up potentially wanting to get rid of entire parcels instead of carving off 5 or 6 acres. So when we talk about land banking or something else, there is another opportunity to maybe secure some land between these two facilities that you could then connect the facilities or other things. It's just, again, a thought, and especially as residential starts filling in so dense around here, you then start losing any opportunity for open space or green space. And
Does he own all of that land that you have up there?
he does, except Pekka may own the far field to this side, Peckham Farm.
On the east there.
But he owns the majority on the west, he owns all the west side. And I can't remember the first lot, if that's Pecker or Cornell, but, it's really just some food for thought.
Would he consider a donation in exchange for naming rights for eternity?
I can't speak for him, but we've purchased all,
Cornell Park.
we've purchased
Guy
all,
Cornell.
we've purchased all access and right of way, even when the trails needed 8 inches of it.
So
So,
he didn't get a name sign.
I-
Forever.
I'll
He's
just
going
state
to
my-
live in eternity.
I'll just state my opinion. Any thoughts? Terrible idea, good idea?
My suggestion
Very
is
good
that
idea.
we put of all the things on that idea board, that's the one that I think makes the most sense.
Are you talking about specifically the AMAX piece,
Mhm. Well, and the
connection?
connection, yeah. So,
I mean, I do think a turf field, we're a big enough community with a lot of youth sports and other stuff that I think a turf field would go well.
I mean,
We-
we could look at it like plan A, B,
Yep.
and C, and
It-
see what kind of expense that is and where those resources could
Yep.
come from.
And I agree, I'm a big quality of place person, so I'm a big believer in it. I'd like to see a turf field, we've talked about, we're still talking with Buddy Ball about turfing a baseball field at Van for Buddy Ball especially, but baseball could use it as well, but if you've ever seen Buddy Ball or a child in a wheelchair or walker trying to go on the dirt fields that, with the rain and stuff like that, so it'd be nice to turf a field at Van and then turf this for the community as well, so.
You guys ought to check out the small park in Westwood Woods sometime. It's completely turfed. And it had an area for
Accessibility.
accessibility that actually you could take wheelchairs, put one on each end.
On a
And they would
swing.
stay in a swing and they would stay in their wheelchair.
Wow.
It was the coolest thing I've seen in a long time.
It's a nice, cool playground. Okay, well, Work Trails is actually working on the first, let's call that the first 3 phases. That picture as just a concept right now, just pricing some stuff out and has had conversations with Guy Cornell, but I wanted to bring it to this board because knowing enough about Work Trails, they don't have the financial bandwidth to do all turf fields. As Abby knows, turf fields aren't cheap.
Correct,
Okay,
pricey.
okay.
Would the Parks Department be able to help or you think there should be?
Financially, probably not.
Yeah, that's-
Management wise, potentially.
Okay.
Okay, on to the next one. A couple other just kind of,
Should we ask the follow-up question, which is this something that this board would be interested in pursuing as far as seeking an added appropriation for those kind of expenses?
I'd like to see,
More detail.
more
Okay.
detail, but yes, I mean.
yeah, we need to
that's-
flesh out the numbers
Yeah, right.
and
But
all of
it
that.
makes a whole lot of sense that you have these 2 parks that are being managed, that they're for youth sports, that we have green space between them that won't stay green forever.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a planning issue and, worst case scenario, we get somewhere down the road there and things change or we change our mind. I mean, land is not going down in value, over the long haul.
And what about Peabody? Are they trying to get anything from the county now? Because typically they're more interested in donations of tracts of land if they're working to get road closed or anything exciting.
That I don't know. There's constantly with the highway department road use agreements that are in place because of the wear and tear on some roads when they do
Right.
bring vehicles on it, but that's more of a Bobby Howard thing. I don't know if there's I don't know if there's a big ask out there.
Okay.
We do have some nice recreational ground out in Bluegrass and Inner Lake and some other things. Some of it is limited by, we can't go put trails in or bike lanes into Bluegrass. It's a state facility. They wanna keep it the way it is. It's great for fishing and all that stuff, or paddling. So again, I just saw some of that land for sale
Yeah.
and thought, let's just
Mine is-
continue to talk about
Because the
it.
Linville Park was free, so.
Well, yeah, it
That's a long
was,
time ago.
and
Linville has still been pursuing the possibility of trying to get some
land.
where, and so when some of that stuff came up for sale, we had to really look hard at it.
What was there?
What they were trying to sell, because there has been some discussion.
There's a
because-
parcel that Linville's looking for. That would be wonderful if we could find a way
Yeah,
to secure that for the town.
yeah, and it could have multiple uses for a lot of things. Recreational and safety. All that stuff, so that's being pursued, so, but we don't really know, Peabody's being very tight-lipped about everything, so I don't really know what's going on, so.
Yeah.
But we did have a nice talk with them, and then.
We did.
We saw some of this other stuff come up for sale all of a sudden, and it's like, okay. But it is still in the works, so Linville is definitely talking and anxious to try to work something out.
Okay, a couple of other just random things for this group. Just want to let you know that I sat in on a consultant selection with the MPO along with Henderson and Vanderburgh County on looking at how some improved regional transportation might take place, public transportation. It's one thing that Warrick County certainly is lacking at times is public transportation for people that need it. And so they have not announced the consultant yet, but they're close, are the group that sat in kind of narrowed it down and gave some opinions. And then the MPO is running that show. But once that consultant gets selected, we'll start getting some groups from Warrick County so that Warrick County continues to have a voice in that conversation when talking regionally. Second one is Howard Ditch study. It's something the Redevelopment Commission is doing right now. Howard Ditch is the one that comes up right along Deaconess, goes underneath 66, comes up past the rental place, and you can kind of see it in this line as it goes up Epworth. We're studying it to kind of set the floodway from a development standpoint. There's been a lot of conversations in Warrick County lately about ditches and flooding and development, so we are trying to set the floodway so that the floodway is there whether we set it or not. It's just when it's not there, someone can buy a piece of property, not do their due diligence, and then build in the floodway, which changes where the water goes. And so we're getting closer. Don't ask me to explain the chart over there from we're using Morley and Michael Sears, who's kind of the #1 expert in the area. That's really modeling that entire system. But I really just brought it up because the county and Jim Morley is going to do a presentation to the surveyor and drainage board and some other folks as they're looking at it. I think that's going to be like the second week of November. So that study is progressing. I'm hoping that it is complete in the next month or so. And that's going to help define a lot of things in that area, development and otherwise. So just giving you guys an update.
All of that water moves from south to north there, is that right?
That water goes north.
Yeah.
Yes. But no, that's good because most people will always just assume water goes south.
Our water does not. flow
It's
to-
not the
flow
case.
to the
There's a
river.
really big,
Yeah.
if you look at elevations, Lincoln Avenue is a really big hill. And if you drive towards Lincoln Avenue from Bell or from Grimm or from anything else, you go up this big hill. So water splits with the hill and the elevations. And then it goes into Pigeon Creek and all these things, which brings me to my next piece on here, and I'm only bringing this up because I sat in a meeting with EMA about 2 weeks ago. EMA is looking to get these sensors here to help with flooding. And so Matt's been doing a good job of really trying to update all of our emergency procedures here in Warrick County. He's really engaged with it. And flooding, tends to be an issue. We've had some really heavy rains. Those pictures are Warrick County pictures when, telephone was flooded, and we've had, 2 times this year, I think, water's been over 41, which hasn't happened since like the 1980s. And so those are Warrick County pictures. They, the highway department, first responders have to put up road closed, keep cars out of there, stop doing water rescues. So these sensors are approved by the federal emergency folks, and they can detect I'm not the expert on it, I sat in the meeting. They can detect when water starts rising up to like a fraction of an inch. And then they can monitor it and they can send alerts to the first responders. It's really about response time and understanding the data so that we can be better prepared, and flooding endangers both lives and property. So one of the reasons I'm bringing it up here, EMA has $0 to get this done. And so these sensors, I wanted to say that Matt's quote to get 6 of them strategically placed around Pigeon and Little Pigeon, and the places that basically, once the water rises there, you can gauge what's gonna flood and where the flood's gonna go. To get 6 of those sensors was in like the total, was in like the $45,000 range. And so instead of waiting a year or two for Matt to be able to find a grant or to do something like that, and Matt's budget doesn't have the wiggle room, I wanted to bring it to this group, and I'm looking at Greg over there on county council. But I mean, for the fact that we have those funds in edit, I've always taken a holistic approach to economic development, and public safety and property is a part of a positive community and safe community. So I may talk to a few other council members, Greg, to take some temperatures, but I think we could possibly get this done within a month or two instead of a year or two. And so unless anyone has a problem, I've got, I saw the presentation, I got the data sheet on them, I saw the warranty on them, saw all the communities that use them, and I saw it in action in like a video presentation. I'll defer to Matt if he thinks it's really going to help the first responders and our flooding and our safety.
So I hear what you're saying. I'll tell you, I was kind of sitting in the seat, so I'm not just a member of the public, as a member of the public in a county that passed a public safety lit that we all are accountable for. It's disappointing that we can't fund things for public safety out of our income tax that we have.
Greg, you can talk about that, but my opinion, Paul, would be so twofold. One is that there's a giant correctional facility project in Warrick County that's taking up some of that bandwidth right now.
Sure.
And there has been other things like adding another ambulance to the rotation, renegotiating that agreement, updating equipment, and some other things that have taken up that bandwidth, meaning the solution, Paul, would possibly be raising the public safety lit. The county took the dollars that they had and allocated it X, Y, Z.
Right.
School resource officers and other things.
Yeah.
And people can debate
I'm just expressing my
their
disappointment.
priority list. But I mean, my understanding is that most of that outside of jail savings is spoken for with actual stuff.
Real quick, I can tell you what's happening. Senate Bill 1 caused us to use up all of our cash balance, pretty much, that was left over in there, because anything we do, we like to have a little cash balance for an emergency. So we have transferred some sheriff's deputies out of general fund, because that money's gonna be a lot less next year, into that.
Mhm.
So pretty much every penny of that is spoken for this year. And the majority of the money is going to fund the new jail.
Yeah, and I understand.
And then after that, we've got to also consider closing down the other one. I've not had challenges like this on my career.
Yeah.
Edit's backstopping already, the bonds for the jail.
Well, I knew that too. I wasn't gonna pile on. that.
No,
And I understand your feelings on that, because that's who created that for public safety.
Right,
yeah.
I have a comment if that's okay.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
I actually like the idea because it's, I mean, I understand this is economic development. You guys are building a lot of things which actually increases flood risks in some areas because you're building up and there's less places for the water to go. So participating in flood mitigation, I think is a good use of edit funds.
You mind saying your name?
Sarah Eller.
Okay, Sarah,
Town
thanks.
of Chandler.
Yeah, thanks.
So you'll bring it back, cause we don't have enough.
Right.
Yeah, this would be something really the county council, you know, I wanted to
Well,
get
we
the
can make,
temperature.
we can make
They
a
need to
recommendation.
Yeah.
They need to make a recommendation.
Yeah, we don't,
That's their
yeah, but we don't
role.
have, we don't have a quorum right.
Correct.
Correct.
All right.
So I told Matt that I would bring it up. I'm with you, Sarah, that I believe it's all part of the equation here in the community.
Do they still work when they're underwater?
They do, Herb, they do. It's surprising.
It was
Now-
close.
Where are those mountains in Warrick County? That's what I want.
Yeah,
I
so
think that has to just be a picture of the.
that's just, yeah.
I really wish we had.
That one is not.
Neither of those are Warren County, even though we have some old bridges, those are off the product page, but,
I don't disagree with you, but at the same time, I wanna get stuff
I feel
done.
better just that I got this.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, any other questions on those three
To
things?
have a heads up when the water's rising and being able to
Public safety.
push,
has been
push that out.
for a long- So I'm gonna go there with it, so I'm okay with that.
Being able to push that kind of information out to all the public in Warrick County, because we know based on those, the water's going up, is great service
Yep.
to everybody.
Yep, no, I think so. If we can solve it,
That's
I-
minimal.
we're all part of teamwork. So that's my 2 cents. Okay. Old business, I'll keep this on our agenda. This is the return of the J turn. Those are the three intersections INDOT's looking at for doing.
intersection improvements. The quick update is that Bobby Howard and I met and went over our initial concerns on these three intersections. We are going to get with the commissioners first to make sure that we have the support of the commissioners. And then we are gonna call for a meeting with the NPO and NDOT at the same time. At this stage, while they've just put out an RFP for these intersections, I feel like we're early compared to Epworth. And express our concerns, and our concerns are different at all three. I think the biggest concern is at Bell and 66 at Walmart there. The lesser concern is over by Kaiser and Alcoa, unless Kaiser and Alcoa have a problem with it. Then we need to support.
They haven't said one way or the other yet.
I mean, I had one initial meeting and they were really curious. They wanted to know the why and they wanted to know better how it would operate. The least trafficked one of all three is at 62 and Epworth. So we just need to, my opinion, we just need to get involved early so that we get the best solutions.
I think if you drive home a message on the Bell Road intersection, it can impact the other two.
Yep.
Yeah,
That, I mean, again, we have a lot of concerns with that
Yeah.
intersection.
yeah.
It makes no sense. It just makes no sense.
I know.
The engineers would disagree.
No, but.
So, all right, let's.
Had that before, didn't we?
A quick update, I think I told you guys, I can't remember when they announced it, they may have announced it after our last meeting. 2 counties out of Indiana were selected for this rural empowerment program, it's called RED. It's not gonna officially kick off until 2026, it's with Okra and Ball State. It is about rural development and capacity building. So in order for when our office put in we wrote the application or submitted, or whatever you wanna call it. We had to build a team of people, and it's really about the communities, the smaller communities, which all of our communities are small when they consider what's a small versus a big city. We built up a team of however many are up there, 50 some people, with just some initial calls. This list can change, we can add people to this list. This was like as an example in Chandler, this was talking to Michael Bell. And Michael said, hey, these are my recommendations off the top of my head. Talking to Chris in Newburgh and saying, hey, we need some folks that could be part of this. So what's going to happen is, I spoke with Ball State last week. They're gonna set up an initial internal small group meeting with, because we just wanna know, what can we do to start preparing? We don't wanna wait till 2026. We wanna get everyone thinking, what are the right questions? And so first week here of October, they're gonna pick a date, we're gonna set up a Zoom call. What I'm gonna try to do is get one person from each community to be kind of the leader and kind of the wrangler from that community. I just talked with Chris Cook from Newburgh today, and he was happy to do it for Newburgh. Because for the three of us to manage 50 people and all that stuff, I'd rather just, if there's 5 towns participating, I just want to send it out to the leadership and say, hey, you make sure that everyone's showing up and participating. You have a better relationship with everyone than I do. So we're gonna get out of this program what we put into it. And it's not worth our time here in economic development if everyone's not gonna, they're gonna have, go halfway. So we just want an active people. And talking with Ball State, they said we can kind of, they have a stock program they can do. Or if we want to go off in a certain direction that works for our community, we can go off in a direction. So I'm hoping we can customize it for Warrick County and we can go from there. Any questions on that?
It's a plan, a comprehensive plan.
So it really is not. It is the way they've explained it to us is it's a couple of days of intense training that we put on here in the community. And then it's some breakout stuff. And so each community would kind of come up with initially, maybe let's call it a list of 10 things they want to work on. And then they'd want to prioritize like the top 3 of that 10 and then work on capacity building. And an example, both of you guys from Linville, that Linville's 3 elected town council member and a clerk treasurer and some other folks, but I mean, town council folks may have full-time jobs. Clerk treasurer is just trying to do the stuff they have to. So you have a project that you want to get done and there's very little bandwidth to do it. So it's also how to like engage your town, how to get feedback, how to get people that might be the first one saying, why don't we do this? Why don't we do that? Engaged.
Right.
To actually say, okay, well, what do you want? You want a community garden? Well, you need to, we'll support it. And so, it's rural development, it's capacity and bandwidth building. And, so they have a set program. You're not gonna come out of that with a town comprehensive plan, but you may come out of that with some top 3 projects that are achievable and kind of here are the next steps and here's the roadmap to do it. That's my understanding, but I'll know more after that first Zoom call. Okay. Anything else? Okay, let's keep rolling. Really additional items are just a couple of things. Upcoming dates and events. Party in Paradise is coming up on the 27th here at Freeman Park. It's a big fundraiser for our parks. It's a good time, as always. It's music and food and drink and stuff like that. Everybody here is invited to the next ribbon cutting for Warrick Trails. That's going to be the Victoria Woods Trail and Bridge that is in. The pavement is down. I rode it the other day. It's great. And that's going to be Thursday, September 25th at 11 a.m. There's an Airbnb that used to be Lisa Friedman's right on Roslyn Road. She sold it. It's still run as an Airbnb. We're going to park right there. And that's a 1/3 of a mile walk to this bridge that is over the creek, kind of between Victoria Woods and Victoria Golf Course. And we'll have some golf carts to transport people that don't want to walk over that way. And that's really it. And we're waiting on a date for a ribbon cutting from Paul and E-Package Supply. And I will send that when I have it.
There's still plenty of tickets left for Party in Paradise.
I'm not positive, Herb, but every year we've at least had a couple at the gate you could get day of. And so last year was a rainy day. And so a lot of people didn't get their fill last year because the weather was so bad. We still had it. But so, all right, any
Website, the only ones I could see are if you have a $5, $100 sponsor or $1,000 sponsor.
they use a different app.
Yeah, I had the same trouble, but you have to go to a different.
They use a different app for their tickets, unfortunately. And again, it's because they don't manage, everyone uses whatever, free or low cost service they can. But if you go to the Parks Foundation on Facebook, there will be links to buy your tickets. And it won't, you're 100% correct. On the page you were on is for sponsoring.
I think there is a link on there.
There probably is, but I couldn't tell you where it is. Any other board business?
Need a motion.
Okay, we can have motion to adjourn and we will bring up, listen. Everyone is here and anyone that's online, we need you to show up next month.
Show up.
Next month is going to be a long meeting with Project Vivid and an important meeting, and so circle it. Holly will send an extra update email to shame people. Maybe I'll send the attendance
Motion
sheet. so
to
everyone
adjourn,
can see.
second. So.
And Courtney is out. If the board has no objections, I'll just call the meeting instead of the
That
president or
works.
vice president, just to move things along. Okay, let me get my slides going. Okay, I'd like to call the September 18th RDC meeting to order. For those joining us online, we are going to do roll call because you are online. And so wait for Holly to call your name. And then we're gonna call your name for attendance and you can say here. And then when we vote on financials and the minutes, Holly will call your name again online and you will say yay or nay. Okay. Holly, can you call out who is here online?
Eric Pryor,
Here.
Brandon Hayes,
Here.
and Jenna Rickard.
Here.
Okay, thank you guys. First order of business is approval of minutes. They were distributed in the packet to the board. Any changes, discussion? If not, we'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
Motion.
Motion by Stacy,
Second.
second by Eric. Okay, wait, all of you online, wait to be called. All those in the room in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Eric.
Aye.
Brandon.
Aye.
Uh-oh. Jenna.
I didn't hear my name, sorry.
Thanks, Jenna. Okay, financial reports. They were distributed, did an email go out today with the updated? With the claims, okay, we had a couple more claims come in from Morley, so let's do financials first. You can see, balances, and as we walk through the 3 TIF districts, there have been no changes to what you are looking at from last month. Outside of as of 9/18 are the balances that we have available. These were distributed in the meeting packet. I'm happy to answer any questions on any of the information presented. If there are no questions or discussions, we will entertain a motion to approve.
Motion.
Motion by Stacy,
Second.
second by Brad. Okay, in person, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Online, listen for your name.
Eric.
Aye.
Brandon.
Aye.
Jenna.
Aye.
Okay, financials passed. Let's go to claims. The board was sent an email today because we got a whole bunch of Morley claims. So those were added. The total amount for this month, so it works out to be $334,965.53. You can see the big one is pay app number 4 for Epworth Point, for site work there, for the bid that was won by Eigner Construction. And then you can see the rest of the ones above that you were sent previously in your packet. Again, discussion, happy to answer any questions. And if not, we will be looking for a motion to approve the TIF claims for 9/18.
So did Morley sign off on Agner's
Yes,
progress?
Yeah. They do each month before. it
yeah,
gets
but it takes a couple, like, so if we just get it that day, the engineer hasn't signed off on it. And we won't process it until it's been signed off.
Okay.
Motion.
Motion by Stacy,
Second.
second by Brad. Okay, online, or sorry, in person, all in favor.
Aye.
Okay,
Eric.
Aye.
Brandon.
Aye.
Jenna.
Aye.
We have not had quorum problems in RDC, but this proves the point on the 291,000. If we don't have a quorum, we're gonna have to call a special meeting.
to approve claims.
To approve Eichner getting paid, otherwise we're late paying him and we owe him interest. So we either do it at the meeting or we do it in a special meeting soon thereafter, one or the other.
Okay, for those online, those were the only things we were voting on today, because you can see action items are blank. It was going to be vivid, where the redevelopment commission was gonna have to vote on the abatement and pass a resolution. But that's been pushed to next month. So again, just like EDAC, I really just put a couple of quick update slides together last minute, so we'd have something to talk about. Okay, in the Epworth TIF. You can see on this slide, we've been talking about Newburgh sewer and capacities in the Epworth area. In the update email, I kind of just gave you the latest, is that we are waiting for Newburgh to set the 3rd meeting between our engineers, which is Morley and Powers. It's supposed to happen in the next week. We did get an update that there is more capacity than Newburgh thought in their phase 1 of a potential new force main going 12,000 linear feet, which is the green and blue line or the purple line in that map, basically going 12,000 feet to about Castle High School. Originally, they said there was no substantial capacity increase if that happened, and now they're saying there is a decent amount. So we are trying to get some answers, and to validate that, I want to update this group that I did meet with all three of the county commissioners now understand the discussions that we've had, the capacity issues, and what the solution is for that. So we're gonna wait for this next meeting to happen. We're trying to pick up the cadence of getting more information quickly, because we turn around our questions after those meetings in about 36 hours. Really, as soon as we can get Craig with Powers Engineering to get in a room with us, we knock out a list of questions, so that's what we're working on. I did talk to one county council member about it, and I am gonna talk to another one here coming up shortly, just to make people aware of the situation as we move towards what the outcome here is. But other than that, no update. Hopefully by next month, we'll have a clearer picture, whatever that is. That work?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I put this on here. This is Orthopedic Drive. You can see Deaconess Hospital in the corner. And Orthopedic Drive really goes like, I don't know, 50 feet past Orthopedic Associates. And then it is over there by the marathon off of Grimm. You can see the interesting part is that those roads don't line up. Like if we were gonna connect them straight across the board, they don't connect. So it will need, you can see, you can already see in this picture, multiple additional curved roads to make connections. But the reason I bring this up is one, it's in the Upworth TIF, and two, there was a development group that came and met with me about developing a big piece of this property. And if that would happen, now we put Orthopedic Drive on the commissioner's transportation plan about 3 years ago. We didn't put it as a priority because the ground was just open ground. At some point, we always felt that road needed to connect, one, for commercial development and lots along 66 and that stuff, and also as a secondary kind of entrance from Deaconess. And I would always thought it would take some load off of the Epworth intersection and some other things. If this project moves forward, this is the only piece that I put on here for this group. If this project moves forward, we're gonna have to get in the weeds a little bit on Orthopedic Drive and what we want. So there's 3 different property owners between Epworth and Grimm Road. It seems like those property owners have had discussions that they, originally it was, where's the road gonna bend? So they may, can't speak for them, but they may be closer to an understanding. And I just wanna put it on your radar that as that develops, we'll have more conversation on it.
They will most likely want a 90-degree turn, so they don't have to give up any development space to the road, to a road. If you put a curving road in, it will take more of their land up. So we may very well see a T.
To Herb's
T
point,
in a turn.
development likes squares and rectangles. I'm a driver, I don't like to stop. The county, and I don't wanna speak for Bobby Howard, but it was relayed to me, like, if it's just an L, it's just a corner, because they want a rectangle, that's where you're going to get, we're not just gonna do an L right here, we're not just gonna L this off so that you can get a little extra, you know, on your lot to build. If it is just like that, the county's gonna want you to put a curve in. There's minimum radiuses for curves and stuff like that. However, to Herb's point, if it comes into a T, that's when you can have, because there's 3 directions that traffic can go, that's where you put a T stop sign intersection. So it may determine, that may determine the shape of the road a little bit. It also may determine at what kind of project they can bring. If they bring some massive project that the county or the redevelopment commission thinks is a really valuable project, it may help determine how we can help accommodate that.
And it also may determine whether we participate in the cost or not, depending on whether we get something that we like or we get something that we don't like, but they want to build it that way anyway.
Right now is just, we have an idea without sharing
Right.
any maps or any plans or anything else. They just wanted to kind of see like what's going on with Orthopedic Drive.
And And so far, the road's been extended on both ends by private developers, not at county expense, so.
Correct.
The doctor put the one in and the
Marathon.
gas station put the other one in.
Yep. Okay. Any questions? Okay, and again. I put this slide just to kind of tell you, I don't wanna make the meeting longer next month, but my plan was with Vivid this month. That next way we were gonna have the floodway study update and get in the weeds a little bit about the floodway study. And then next month, there have been some updates. There's the ditch, there's Epworth Point and the dirt work that Jordan's doing. Ohio Township Park, if you haven't been over there lately off of Libert. There's that Two Flag Hotel that came for abatement. You know, next month, we're gonna get into like some updates on those Jordan's district. And then there's potentially another new project or two, depending on how much those projects get baked. I'd like them brought here as soon as they're baked enough, because as we're talking about this whole corridor from Libert to Epworth, the pieces start to matter. And you wanna start looking at them not as individual pieces of the puzzle. Does that make sense? Okay, north,
Anything about the Epworth Point project and the status?
I mean,
People wanna go look.
just like Herb said, if you, like I said about the Ohio Township Park. Started out slow because of how wet it was over there. It's been so dry. We've been able to get a ton of dirt work done, so it's, you can easily drive right up to the back of the orthopedic hospital. You can look at the retention pond, you can look at the site, you can look at the road, all of those things. Herb sends me pictures all the time. I drive by her quite a bit myself, but, we'll get in the weeds.
It's already up. It's up
Well,
to grade.
We'll get in the weeds on all of those next month. I was hoping to get some more pictures myself and get over to the park and get over to a different project as well.
If you've not looked, you should go look. This is redevelopment commission land.
It's a deep hole.
It is a
It
deep
is.
hole.
It's way deeper than I.
There's a hole that's probably what, 2,000 feet long and 200 feet wide and about 20 to 30 feet deep, and it's all dug out, and that filled the rest of the 21 acres, 4 feet. And it's all brought up to grade. He got that done in like 2 months.
Yeah.
Once
Yeah.
they could get in there, hello. I mean, they've really made progress. So they've even got, the water line is in, the base for the roads is in. He's ready to tear out Van Road at some point in time and start doing the work on that. He is really making progress.
Okay, we already talked about Vivid moving up to North Warwick. Let me look what's on. Really, that project will be here next month. The next thing on the agenda for this big project is having a conversation with Duke. Duke provides the electricity up there. We're gonna need to find 5 to 6 acres. They don't want it on their site because of the way they're developing the northern half of it. We need to find 5 or 6 acres for a substation. Substation doesn't need to go in tomorrow, but as this project ramps up into their buildup over the first 4 to 5 years, that substation is gonna need to go in. And substations need a lot of planning. Their projects don't go in overnight either. And so, Misty with Duke is trying to set up a call in the next 2 weeks. We'll talk about it internally at our project team meeting, our department project team meeting on Tuesday morning. And we will go through kind of some options for where we can put this potential substation so that that can be decided upon, and that's not, as we're trying to check hurdles with this project. That's one of them that just came up in the last week.
So the fact that it's going to a board meeting means it's 60%, 70%, 80%.
You know, I'm always hesitant. If this was like my first 6 months, Brad, I would tell you every project is going to happen and I'd be licking my
Give me
heels.
your thoughts
And
on
I'm
that.
so excited.
Give me a ranking since you're going to their board and public disclosure.
It is. Right now, my opinion is, as long as it passes abatement, I feel very good that something would have to get in the way of it happening. It's moved as far as any project we've had, any project that's moved this far has happened. But there's still all sorts of nothing, no red flags. I mean, they've done soil stuff. They've done all kinds of due diligence on this site and this project and working with all the different utilities involved
And
and
they want the gas, they're gonna move the gas line too.
they want
They want it
they
moved,
want
they
it.
won't move it, the company that owns it won't move it.
BP switched, it used to be Xylene, it's a diesel line. We've spoken with BP. That is not a overnight move. They're about 24 months out of any facility moves. And it will be a several $1,000,000 move. So,
It's not in the way of the first buildings being built.
the answer was to them, it's possible.
Is it in the way of any of the first buildings being built?
It could possibly be getting close. Because they keep rotating their production line.
So it's only over it if they move it over it. Based on the current design.
We're just gonna stay positive. Stay positive in this
Yeah.
one.
Well, I mean, they can do that, they can do, it's theirs, it's gonna be their land. So they can do that, it just won't take a little longer.
$45, $40.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay,
Stay positive, let's stay positive.
absolutely.
on this sheet, the hottest project right now in the Shell building is Project Redbird. That is an international manufacturer of automotive interior components. It's a big investment. It's 200 plus jobs. I heard they want to make a decision by the end of the month and that they've narrowed it down to 3 sites. So that was the last update I heard. We've provided some additional tax information this week, along with some other information that they asked for. There's another project called Project Red, which isn't on here because it came directly, not through Woodward and discussions. Project Red is a Canadian recycling company that is also extremely interested in our region. And so they are considering a site in our site in Warrick and a site in Posey. Like, I think that Project Red wants to be in the region. There's like an intermediary between us and that project, so they kind of gotta get stuff from the project and then they get it to me, and then it's like a game of telephone at times. But those are the 2 most active projects at the Shell. Right now.
Do you know what kind of incentives? Did you say Posey?
Oh, boy.
Did you know what kind of incentives Posey?
Sorry. At least I didn't spit it at you.
No, you guys said.
It's.
You were brave, you guys sat next to each other.
It's way.
said he'd be good.
It's okay, I'll get it later, leave no trace.
There any discussion about incentives in Posey County, so we know what we're competing against?
I do not know, and honestly, Herb, that project has not even gotten to the incentive point.
Okay.
Taxes and utilities were important. Just knowing that we have incentives was all they asked. And we give them the same story that they all have to go
Our
through.
taxes lower than Posey.
Our taxes are lower, yes.
No.
Okay. We do have a project looking at this 35 acres that I've highlighted. The redevelopment commission does not own it. It's not part of the industrial park. It is a logistics and distribution project that is looking for 500,000 square feet of space. I've connected that project to the landowners. The landowners seemed receptive to discuss it, and I'm hoping to hear something back from the project in the next week or so. The next thing that came up, just to let this board know, is that Phoenix Specialty Films down here, they built building 1, then they built building 2, and now back here, they're building actually their headquarter building, which we had a groundbreaking for. As part of building this building, they've got to build a shared drive. They are building it to about right here so that they can access their headquarter building. It also is going to allow whoever takes this parcel and develops it to use this shared drive. It won't be a county road. It's a shared private drive in negotiated agreement as part of us supporting their expansion here. The issue is this road has failed in the last week or two. They're getting it ready. It has failed compaction testing. So they thought the road was gonna be done. Their building is pre-manufactured steel building, and their building is arriving on Monday. And their road is not drivable. So what we are going to allow them to do is we're gonna allow them to unload on Industrial Park Drive on the cul-de-sac here, on the south side off the cul-de-sac so that trucks can still turn around. And they should be able to do it in one day. They basically are gonna take kind of like the pathway that's there, there's not a road there, but through the farm field, which has been mowed and hayed, so the hay is, it's not in the field. They're gonna be able to take it down right along the line to drop it on their site. Herb's writing something up tomorrow, one page only, right?
I'm waiting for your email with details.
One-
I'll write something up, yes.
One page
I need the
only.
Factual details, one page only.
We're
You didn't say
basic-
how small the print could be.
Something simple that indemnifies the county in case they have an accident on our property or whatever. And that if they would run over a hydrant or rut the field, we don't wanna take care of, we don't want a field that has a bunch of ruts in it. They just gotta put it back like they found it if they damage anything. That's it. That's just being,
So we'll get indemnity
There.
protection.
that's it.
That's the word.
It's recorded. Just go back to what I said.
Oh, you said
Translate.
indemnity?
Translate
Oh, you're
it.
translate? We'll have an indemnity provision
Put a
that
signature
says
above.
whatever goes wrong, personal property, personal injury, they will indemnify RDC for any claims.
You all heard it.
Short and sweet, one page.
One page.
So I need the factual.
I'll show it to the board next month. and We'll see if it's. Alright.
Now they're saying.
We're
yeah,
just having
definitely-
fun.
It's definitely
It's all
gonna fit on one page.
It's all good. Okay. Any questions on that? I just wanna let you know that we're gonna give permission. We obviously want them to build, be successful.
Is it going across the diesel line?
No.
Okay.
Um,
You're gonna stand at the diesel line, make sure they don't drive across?
he's not, I talked to Brian, they're not gonna be anywhere, and you can see where the yellow line is, or they'd have to be way over here, they're dropping it right here.
Okay, that's the only thing I'm worried about. Don't drive over the diesel line.
I'm not worried about it.
Okay.
Okay, alright. Really no update, we talked about this group supporting the schools last month. I showed some pictures, the equipment's in, the construction folks over at the Pathway School are doing it, which is great that we can support that. Yankeetown Fire and the vehicle that, we are buying those folks. They are hopefully having like a vehicle ceremony. I don't know if it's like you hit with a champagne bottle, like it's a ship or something, but they're having that maybe November 7th. And so for next month, we should have some pictures of that. And the chief may show up next month's meeting as well, just to talk about it and to thank this group. We are still working through, we're kind of like our own red project. We're trying to prioritize some other projects to bring to this board. We're making baby steps, just it tends to be the thing that when we have some free bandwidth, we get on, and we don't have a lot of free bandwidth. But I'm gonna continue to bring some stuff to this group. And any other board business? Anybody online have any board business?
Nope.
Okay. Hearing none, somebody
None.
give us a motion.
Motion.
Motion to adjourn.
You did approve the claim.
Yeah, that was it.
Mhm.
You guys did both,
Second.
right?
Yeah.
They did.
All right. We're adjourned. Thank you, everyone. Sorry for being late.
That's what's important.
Some of the facts of that, I said, yeah.